Good morning, everyone, and I wanted to thank y'all for coming today. This is the good part of the show. I like to go through this part. The Texas Transportation Forum gives us the opportunity to communicate and to work with each other on the latest transportation issues, and we get to exchange ideas, talk about our successes and our challenges. You heard a lot of challenges we've got coming up with funding and things we've got going, and visit with each other. And we get to brag, talk a little bit about what Texas does. The weather we had last year, we had a major snowstorm last year, and then suddenly we broke the record this year. We had floods back in the spring, and we had the wettest year of all. And just a year ago, we were in a drought that lasted forever. So TxDOT, and then the tornadoes. You saw the tornadoes and hurricanes. We were fortunate this year we didn't have any hurricanes, but in the sense of all that, we have an extreme on our weather, and we talk about it on a daily basis. We go through there. We also have funding opportunities. In Texas, we can brag about the opportunities we've been provided. Our legislation, our citizens have provided the opportunity to build roadways, and we truly have a unique funding scenario of the last 2 years being Prop 1, Prop 7, and the House Bill 20, allowing us to move forward with projects we have. So it's very unique around the state. If you look around the nation, you see how people look at TxDOT about how opportunities we have in that area. And our Road Hand Awards are our biggest and one of the best opportunities and best resources we have around the state for the same reasons that make TxDOT a special operation in Texas itself. It's my pleasure this morning to honor them. Former State Highway Engineer Luther DeBerry created the Road Hand Award back in 1973. It's the TxDOT's highest tribute to citizens who help make transportation in Texas the best in the nation. They're motivators, they're advocates, they're leaders, and they're champions, and they're needed. Without their support, TxDOT cannot accomplish all that it does. As a district engineer, the ability to communicate to people is important. And a lot of the times, TxDOT and any government agency is viewed as a government agency, and a lot of times having information come from a champion or a leader in the community at both community groups, neighborhoods, associations, at breakfasts, and at MPOs and councils. Those are important, and getting that message across better a lot of times than what TxDOT can do itself or anybody else is important. They provide wise counsel. I get wise counsel every day from my wife, and these stakeholders provide the same wise counsel to our district engineers to allow them to be able to see something maybe differently than what we look at our operations. We may have the best engineered operation, but in reality, there may be a better solution, and sometimes that's provided to us. Each of this year's winners, in fact, all our road hands, understand how important transportation is for economic development in Texas and for our quality of life. Thanks to their commitment, we are achieving great things. We're building highways and bridges that Mr. DeBerry could only have thought about 44 years ago. Before we acknowledge this year's recipients, could all of our prior Road Hands winners who are here today stand up? We got plenty of them, so if you would, stand up. I'd also like for our former executive directors to stand up if they would. Any of them here? Amadeo, I saw you. Now for this year's recipients. Before I announce who they are, you should know that each one of these in their local community has been presented with this award earlier this year at a local event. Today, however, we want to thank publicly and announce them as a group, and then thank them for what their efforts were. 4 deserving gentlemen will be honored today. They're all advocates of their communities, and they're tireless champions of Texas. Without further delay, I'll introduce them. From Nacogdoches, City Manager Jim Jeffers. Now, Jim Jeffers, I understand, is ill today, and he wasn't able to make it, but Jim Jeffers is the City Manager for Nacogdoches. San Antonio City Councilman Ronaldo Ray Lopez. Cameron County Judge Pete Sepulveda, Jr., and Tarrant County Judge Glen Whitley. Join me in applauding for them. Now that you've heard who they are, let me tell you a little bit about each one of them and what they've done to win this award this year. Jim Jeffers is a true champion of transportation. Jim Jeffers has helped solve current and future transportation issues in Nacogdoches, deep East Texas, and elsewhere. He is a member of the I-69 Alliance Board of Directors, the Deep East Texas Rural Transportation Planning Organization, and the Regional Board of Directors for the Advocates of Texas. Mr. Jeffers understands the impact transportation has on the economies of municipalities and counties. He is committed to helping fund solutions to address transportation needs. He has worked diligently to empower local officials, urging them to address and prioritize transportation issues. He has been very involved with the I-69 Angelina and Nacogdoches County Committee. Serving as a group's chair, he has helped make recommendations to help I-69 through the area. Jeffers is a motivator and a leader. He built consensus in South Nacogdoches to raise medians. And if y'all ever raised medians in a town, you know how hard that is at times. Not only did he convince the locals that the project would improve mobility and safety, but he's also educated them on the benefits to the businesses it would have to their businesses as they move forward. Jim Jeffers' contributions exemplify the work of a Texas road hand. I know he's not here, but give me applause. San Antonio Councilman Ray Lopez is an advocate for the transportation in his home city. He has dedicated his public service career to supporting better transportation infrastructure and improving transportation funding. Since 2013, he has chaired the Alamo Area Metropolitan Planning Organization. There, he's been a key member and player for the expansion of urbanized boundaries of San Antonio. He has also played a role in the San Antonio District's implementation of Proposition 1 projects over the last year. They include I-10 West Perimeter Project, the US 90 Frontage Road Project, the State Highway 97 Rehab Project, and the Interstate 410 State Highway 151 Direct Connector Ramp Project. Most recently, he has led the MPO to pass a resolution to build US 281 north outside of Loop 1604 as a non-towed facility. A tireless transportation advocate, Lopez has spent the last 7 years improving transportation and the quality of life in the San Antonio area. Congratulations to San Antonio Councilman Ray Lopez. Now, for the past 17 years, Cameron County Judge Pete Sepulveda has held just about every public position service in his home county. Before becoming judge, he served as Director of Transportation and County Administrator. Judge Sepulveda has been a partner with TxDOT in highway, rail, and bridge projects over the last 28 years. He has been involved in the permitting and construction of 5 international bridges between the United States and Mexico. These included, most notably, the first international rail bridge between the United States and Mexico in over 100 years. He helped secure the necessary permits in the Far-Reynosa International Bridge, which began operations in January of 1995. He also helped acquire approvals in the Camino Real International Bridge. Sepulveda has also serves as the Executive Director for the Cameron County Regional Mobility Authority. There he manages and directs their $1.9 billion system of projects. In his 28 years of municipal and government operations, he has worked on over $1 billion of transportation construction projects. Judge Sepulveda is a transportation supporter of South Texas and the Texas Road Hand, and he's a truest sense a Texas Road Hand. Thank you. Our next one is, I've known him for quite a while, Judge Glen Whitley. He exemplifies what it means to be a Texas road hand. He has worked for transportation coalitions and solutions since his election to the Tarrant County Commissioner's Court in 1996. Elected county judge in 2006, he has been an outstanding advocate for transportation on local, state, and national levels. He has led efforts to improve transportation in North Texas by building coalitions, focusing on common regional interests, and supporting public-private partnerships. His resume of successful partnerships is lengthy, and I'll tell you, one of the biggest things that occurred in the last 10 years was State Highway 121 in Dallas and Fort Worth. And in that area, his leadership in there helped get that across the goal line. And that led to other projects. The $1.4 billion Chisholm Trail Parkway project, the 27-mile project extending from downtown Fort Worth to Cleburne. The DFW Connector project, the 8.4-mile section, about $1.02 billion project that rebuilt portions of 4 highways, 2 major interchanges, and 5 intersection bridges. It also had the nation's largest receiver of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act money that we had because we had projects on that ready to be led. The North Tarrant Express project that reconstructed a 10-mile stretch of I-35W from downtown Fort Worth to US 287 in Fort Worth. And most recently, he championed the redesign of I-30 and 360 interchange. It is one of the last remaining old DFW turnpike ramps that one of our commissioners' dad helped get started, and will be replaced with a new $254 million direct connect interchange. Whether talking to seniors, neighborhood associations, or community groups, he always raises awareness with a duty to improve our infrastructure. Judge Whitley has been a diligent advocate for funding solutions for our transportation needs. His efforts have resulted in more funding tools for the transportation construction and maintenance. In the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you will see that his help work with getting about $4 billion over the last 10 years of projects into $20 billion of roadways built in that area from the gas tax dollars we had available and the proper partnerships we had put together. Judge Whitley is the ideal TxDOT road hand, working side by side with TxDOT and other transportation agencies to improve mobility and safety in North Texas. Congratulations, Judge Whitley. These 4 outstanding individuals are, without question, dedicated supporters of TxDOT who have helped improve transportation throughout Texas. They exemplify what can be accomplished through teamwork and partnerships. On behalf of the Texas Transportation Commission, the Texas Department of Transportation, and the citizens of Texas, thank you for to our new road hands. Congratulations on a job well done. Thank